Connections, enjoyment, belonging, and friendships. These are things that we all need to flourish. And one of the ways that we can get all of those things is by sharing a meal together. Today I want to talk about how eating meals with other people is really good for your health and hopefully convince you to go eat a meal with your friend, your family, or maybe even somebody new. In 1960, there was a study conducted by Wolf and Byrne called the Rosetta Effect. The people in the town of Rosetta were dying from heart attacks at less than half the rate of the rest of America. And a study that they did showed there was a direct link between the social interactions that they were having in that town and the heart health. And one of the things that they did often in that town, being a big Italian family, was eat meals together. Eating together is important whether you're a single person like these girls, or part of a family with kids, or maybe you're a part of a family that has a one-parent home, or no kids at all. And then, of course, it's important too if you're an elderly person. Eating together is important for all of us. So if eating together is important for all of us, why do we find it so hard to get together? Why do we have such a lot of social isolation? It's because we're so busy. Both parents are working. The mom is working, the dad is working. Children are involved in more extracurricular activities than they ever were before. And more people live alone by themselves than ever before, from singles to old. Those are all things that prevent us from eating together, but not eating with people can be bad for your health. Eating alone can cause feelings of loneliness, which can lead to depression, according to the Mental Health Foundation. And there was a study conducted by Dr. Diane Schweiner of the University of Minnesota that showed that children who didn't eat with their parents often were at a higher risk for eating disorders and childhood obesity. They're at a higher risk because when you don't have that social interaction going on at the dinner table, you may not catch the fact that your children aren't eating like they should. And she found that the families who were eating with their kids were able to catch those problems early on and help to prevent them. There was a study also conducted by the CASA group that showed educationally your children could be detrimented by not eating a family meal together. Their grades could be lower than children who ate more meals with their family. So eating together is really important. And in our society, it's hard for us to take that time. So we need to actually plan ahead. You have to plan ahead to set aside a date, especially if you're single or an elderly person who doesn't live with somebody or family. You have to make the time. Ask a friend, hey, you want to meet? Let's do it every Tuesday. Or have a backyard barbecue. It's important that you join together and have some good social interaction time, and what better time than a meal, because everybody has to eat. As a family, it's really important when you do sit down to the table that you actually unplug everything. Don't turn the TV on. Take the cell phones, leave them in the other room just for that time when you're eating, and headphones out. It's important that you have that one-to-one conversation with your kids. As a kid, I remember my family eating together, and it's one of the best memories I've ever had. We sat around and we had fun conversations, sometimes gross conversations, and sometimes really important conversations. This is something that I've been able to carry on in my own family with my kids, even though I have 4 teenagers who are in all different directions, who have jobs, are involved in extracurricular activities. We have to take time out of every day to kind of join with each other, even if it's really late at night. And we're not able to do it every single day, but we try to do it more than not. There has been studies, as I told you before, by CASA that shows that eating meals together for kids actually is very good for them and can increase their grades, and it also decreases their risk of substance abuse. And here I have a graph that I got directly from their website, and here you can see that the percent of children who get A's and B's is higher when they eat more meals together. So here you can see that 63% of kids who eat at least 5 to 7 meals get A's and B's in school. The second graph I'm going to show you is about children who have a decrease in substance abuse, such as tobacco, alcohol, and marijuana when they eat family meals together. These are really good numbers. 4% for the tobacco, 15% for the alcohol, and 8% for the marijuana when those kids are eating at least 5 to 7 family meals together. What parent wouldn't want that? So if eating together is good for you, social isolation is definitely not. There was a study conducted by Steptoe in the University of London, and in that study they showed that social isolation and people who lived alone actually had a decrease in the longevity of their life. And according to the study done by the Rosetta, it can actually affect your health. So eating together, it must be important, and we must take the time to do it. So make a point of taking action and making a plan. Maybe this week you could have a backyard barbecue. Or maybe there's somebody that lives in your neighborhood that's an older person that doesn't have anybody, and you can invite them for a meal. You might enjoy it, and I know they will. And finally, grab a plate and a friend, because eating together is not only good for your mental health, it's good for your heart and good for your soul. So I've got to go eat with my family. Maybe I'll catch you at dinner sometime.